Hello there. Welcome back to my channel, Snips by Kelly. I'm Kelly and hooray! We are at the fifth and final layout in the Love Notes series. Now the first layout in the 5-part series focused on texture. Texture with tearing and texture by scoring and inking. The second layout in the series focused on this crisscross overlay and color correction. Working with colors that are a little hard to match and finding ways to make that work. The third layout in this series focused on putting aside preconceived notions and taking a more feminine feeling line and creating a more masculine layout. The fourth layout in this series used a card sketch to create a really cool background. I did have that layout backwards. And here's where we're at. Here is all that we have left. And so we have some paper strips left, not too many, some. We have some little star stickers, some puff hearts. We have just a couple scallop circles and starbursts left from the Cricut. I think we have 3 sticker circles. We have, I think, 3 larger banners and a tiny banner and a couple location pointer stickers. We have this airmail sticker that I'm kind of excited. I would love to make that work with 3 little paper airplanes. I haven't had a chance to use that yet. We don't have much for titles. We have that circle that I showed you already that says Love Notes. We have a flowers sticker and an XOXO sticker and I think a leftover tag. So here's my photo inspiration for tonight, and I'm dealing with friendship. I want to talk about friendship, and this is my friend Debbie, who I've had about a 45-year friendship with, and my friend Nancy, 45 or 46 years as well, and we're pictured with Debbie's father, Raleigh, who is in his 80s now, and we are at Debbie's son's wedding, and we try to go around and hit all of our friends' children's weddings, and it's one of those excuses for all of us to get together, and I wanted to celebrate friendship. She is a beautiful friend inside and out, and I wanted to celebrate her. Now on the right page I have a 4x6, a 4x4, and a vertical 3x4, and I've made a little collage to strategically cover up a few things. There was a woman in the background. I'm not quite sure what she was doing with her hair, but her hands were in her hair and it was a little distracting. And so I strategically placed the left-hand photo over her and then snuggled up a photo of Debbie, who's actually singing at her son's wedding and doing a beautiful job down there on the bottom. So what I did is I took what was left over and I literally just cut random strips. So the zip strips are the smallest, they're a 1/2 inch, and then I go all the way up to 2 inches. So some of those are 3/4 of an inch, some of them are an inch, some of them are 2 inches. I did contemplate not using the bare paper, but there's a little wedding dress in that. And I thought, you know, this is celebrating friendship. It's not so much about the wedding, even though it was at the wedding. I have other photos to celebrate the couple. This is celebrating friendship. So I've taken a 10x10 white daisy piece, and this is such an easy layout tonight. There won't be any heavy lifting. It's just super fast. It's super easy. And we've seen strips used in so many ways. I mean, it's just timeless in terms of vertical strips, horizontal strips, and strips of paper used in so many ways that I thought I would like to use a floating background that is on a diagonal. So still using strips, but instead of just your standard vertical strips, going ahead and putting these strips on this 10x10 background and then cutting around it free form so that it can be popped up on foam tape and it can be floating. Now I am tearing the edges, and although I'm offering a cheat sheet at the end of this video that has all of the measurements, full colored photos and dimensions, the design space file for all 5 2-page layouts in the series, that'll be linked in the description tonight. So you could get exact measurements of these strips, but honestly, that pile that was left over, I randomly went through. Most of them I didn't even cut. Some of them I cut, and it won't matter because Close to My Heart does the heavy lifting for us. They make sure that no matter what patterns and colors are in a pack that they all already coordinate. So the job is already done of matching. They all already match. So now I'm just using that center floral, the longest strip, as the anchor and moving outward or downward and upward with smaller and smaller strips. And I'm tearing those because then I can use those on the right page as well. And I love using up what's left. So I'm not adding anything new to this last layout. And my only goal of this layout, aside from celebrating my friendships with Debbie and Nancy at the wedding this summer, is to use up what is left. I feel so satisfied when I'm able to make a layout, the last layout in the series, with only what is left and not adding anything new. And it feels really gratifying when I look at what's left over after we get to the last layout and it's hardly anything at all. And it feels really, really satisfying. So now my microtip scissors slide very easily under the paper, and I did loosely put adhesive on. I left a lot of the adhesive off of the ends because I wanted to be able to come in with my non-stick microtip scissors and just trim this out. And it's so easy to do. On camera, it's a little awkward looking, but you're just basically coming underneath those strips. You're going to turn this into a free form piece, which is going to allow you to put it in any direction you want. But more importantly, it's going to allow you to pop the whole thing up. And instead of having the whole thing popped up in a traditional square, it has its own shape, which actually creates interest in and of itself. And so basic and plain leftover strips with not much of anything else, it popped up in free form, gives you another dynamic for a really simple and basic page. I've been really, really lucky to have long friendships, and sometimes it's all about our children and our grandchildren, and I sometimes forget to create those pages with my friends. And I'm so much better the older I get, because I feel like although I have always extremely valued my friendships, the older I get, the more they mean to me. They mean so, so much to me, and they've stood the test of time. And so I love being able to honor friendships in my pages. So now you can see it's freestanding. So I can pop it up on a white daisy piece. I can rotate it. I could do some inking under it. I can decide on the right page, do I want it to go the opposite direction? Do I want them to go the same direction because they're different strips? And I just repeated the performance on that same performance on the right page in terms of the strips that I did on the left page. And you can see it just adds so much bright color to the collage on the right. And now I can add Debbie's photo to the left, to the center, to the right. I don't have a whole lot of embellishments left, although it kind of seems like there's quite a bit. There's not a ton. And so I want to be able to keep it simple and use up what's left over, but still have a nice, colorful, and interesting background to work with. And it seems like we use strips so much that it's nice to be able to shake up the sizes, the lengths, whether you tear on the long edge or the short edge, and how you do that. Now, we already have a layout in this series where I tore on the long edge to create texture. So that's why I tore on the short edge, but you can feel free to rough up your edges, to roll up your edges, to ink your edges. There's so much more that you could do. I'm keeping it super simple because we are definitely sliding out with ease. So I'm going to take a look at some of my circles that I have here. I have a couple little Cricut starbursts. I have those airplanes that I want to use. I think that I could use airmail. I definitely think that I could use that. I'm not sure why I'm going over all these with you again. Maybe just refreshing my memory to remember what I have to work with. So I put this video off. I usually do my videos a little closer together, but I've had this horrible head cold, and so I put it off, and I didn't want to put it off any longer, so I'm really hoping that nasal sound isn't super annoying. I don't know why I've had so many colds. this year I'm hardly sick ever, and I've had a lot of little colds this year for some reason. So I'm freehand with my black Le Pen, and I'm dragging my hand down, and I'm purposely making it look not straight. I want it to just look like freehand scribble, and I'm actually just coming down and I'm making lines all the way around once, and then I'm coming back in and I'm toggling back and forth over that original line to make a double scribble line around the outer edge, because this is a lot of white space that's going to be showing, but I feel like the white space is also necessary with those bright colors. I don't want pattern on underneath those bright patterns, and I don't have any left anyway, even if I did. And I didn't really want color underneath. I feel like there's enough color. So I have my blending brush and a little bit of peach, and I'm actually just going to create a little pink peach hue underneath the strips in various spots, like a little bit on the upper, a little bit on the lower, a little bit on the right, a little bit on the left, and that little peach hue coming out from underneath those strips is just such a wonderful added element, and it's so simple. The layout itself has nothing to it, just strips, and adding that inking under it just elevates it to the next level without any work at all. And I'm going to do that again on the right page, and make sure to do that on the right page and add that hue all the way around. Now we can already embellish. It's just so great to have that freestanding floating background that adds so much dimension, like it's jumping off the page, and yet it keeps the focus on the photos. So now I'm just going to make a little layer here and a little embellishment cluster of these little leftover stickers, and then I think XOXO will actually work perfectly. Kisses and hugs. We have memories with Debbie's parents, of course, all of our parents, and it's so wonderful to come full circle. They still think we're kids, even though we were in school 40 years ago, and friends starting 45 years ago, they still see us as kids. And we just get a kick out of being around each other's parents whenever possible. And of course, many of us, including myself, has lost parents. But so it's even more precious with those of us who still have our parents left, and being able to see them from time to time and celebrate them and spend time with them. And of course, they love being around us and telling stories about us, and it makes them be reminded of all of those years of raising kids and that kind of thing, and it's super special. So I'm just making a couple small clusters. I have that cluster of the banners and the airmail up on the upper left. I'm hoping to incorporate the paper airplanes. I'm going to do a cluster of the leftover circle stickers and add one scalloped cricket circle. And I reviewed all of the materials and supplies that I've used in this in great depth in video number 1 in the series, including the Cricut bits. But of course, if you are one that wants a little more structure, the Design Space link and all the Cricut sizes and colors are all in a cheat sheet that will be available at the end of this video for all 5 layouts in this series. And I've done that several times now for specials, and it's gotten good reception, because even though you can watch the video, and I'm really good at giving dimensions typically. I know the strips this time I didn't, because they're so easy, but all the previous videos I've given the exact measurements and given lots of detail, so you can just simply follow along and create your versions with the video. But if you like a little bit more structure with full colored photos and the dimensions for all 5 layouts, I love to be able to do the cutting for all 5 layouts at once, so that you're sure that you only need one paper pack. So we used the Love Notes product bundle, and it has the paper pack and some coordinating cardstock in it, and it's nice to know that you aren't going to need additional pattern paper. If you cut according to the instructions, you'll be able to make all 10 pages with one bundle. I'm not going to be able to make the pennant banners work and they are so cute. So I may have to make a little card out of those, but I am able to make the dovetailed banners work and the circles work. And then I've got just two little Cricut starbursts left. I had two small ones, I guess, and one medium-sized one, and I popped the white top off of the one to create a little bit of a taller layer with the larger starburst, and then add that smaller starburst to it. And then I added my journaling on the bottom, and I thought it would be fun to take a little bit of that peach ink and just highlight a few words like beautiful and love and celebrate, or any words that you wanted. It's such a great technique for plain journaling, to come back in and just add a little hue to a few words that you want to highlight. And it's a real fun play on journaling. And now I have a few little stars left. You can see that the junk gypsy tray is sadly so empty, which is not sadly, that's a celebration. That means we've used just about every single piece in this workshop. So I want to add a few stars, and then I added that squiggly journaling line, and I kind of made a little bit of a, I don't know, it isn't exactly as rounded as I want it to be over underneath that right airplane. So I might strategically place a star or a heart over there. So I might add a combination of stars and hearts to embellish. And I am loving that. I want to add a couple little different colors, and I don't really want to do, I contemplated doing a little something on the right-hand side of the photo, but I love the patterns. I love seeing all the patterns there. I love the clusters, and I'm counting the banner cluster on the left page, and the circle cluster on the left page, and the circle cluster on the right page as my triangle, because you go from the top left to the lower left all the way across all of those photos to the middle over there, the lower middle. And that makes your eye come across the journaling, the left photo, and all of the photos on the right. And the triangle is a term we use loosely. It doesn't have to be a perfect 90-degree triangle. It can be a little bit different. And there we are. I'm getting so happy. I love that in this Love Note series, we've done some juvenile, we've done adult, we've done masculine, we've done feminine, we've done family, we've done color photos, and we've done black and white photos, and I feel completely satisfied with the Love Note series. Thank you so much for watching. Be sure to shoot me a comment, hit me a thumbs up, like and share, and if you want to take a peek at the cheat sheet for all 5 layouts, it's available in the description now. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. Happy scrapping and have a wonderful day. We'll see you on the next one. Bye-bye.